Hello everybody, Omni here with the last trailer from Comic-Con that I wanted to talk about. These CW shows just kind of slipped my mind in the wake of all the much larger news that came out of Comic-Con this year. And I was looking at my notes this week and I was just like, wait a minute. I didn't talk about Arrow or Flash. I looked down, I wrote them down, but for some reason they just slipped my mind and I had not gotten around to talking about either of them. I do have my reaction and commentary for the Arrow Season 7 trailer on the channel now. Today, we're going to be talking about the Season 5 trailer for The Flash. I've watched Flash since the beginning, since the pilot. With Arrow, I didn't start it until Season 2 was actually on air. I had a friend recommend that I should check it out, and I saw all of the first season was on Netflix in full, so I sat down one night and just started watching the first season on Netflix, and I was instantly hooked to that, and I just started watching it, and I think I finished the whole season in about 2 to 3 days. It didn't take me very long, but in season 2 is when they introduced Grant Gustin as Barry Allen in this universe. And, you know, anybody that knows the comics is just like, eventually that's going to be the Flash. And at first, I wasn't that sold on the concept of Grant Gustin as Barry Allen. But the more time you spent with him, the more you kind of got the feel for his version of the character. And he really, once they spun it off into its own show and he actually got the powers, got the suit, got the team, Grant Gustin just took that role and ran with it. Pun intended. Since the beginning, I think Flash has been on point. Season to season has only gotten better, in my opinion. It wasn't until this last season that I felt like the show was starting to slip. This is the first season we didn't have a speedster villain. We had the Thinker. It was just this cat and mouse game that they play with Team Flash and the Thinker. Like every time you think they have the one up on him, he's already thought ahead of them. He already had a contingency plan, or getting caught or whatever was part of his plan. Like that's the problem with a character like that, is like no matter what you do or say, you can just have the throwaway line, "Oh, it's part of the plan," because they don't have to write it in that moment, and they can just use that to extend the plot however long they need it. And I think this is the problem with season 4, is that happens too much, and it would have benefited from not having that large 20-some episode CW standard order of episodes that they had. This would have benefited so much more from being a shorter story, because once you get towards the end of it, it's just a little too much, and it just comes down to like however they defeat this guy, it's probably not going to live up to your expectations, and it doesn't. The worst part of this season is the finale, in my opinion, because they write themselves into a corner with this villain that can just think precognitively think of all the different outcomes that Team Flash might come up with to stop him. But the one thing that thwarts him, that he can't comprehend, is the power of free will and love and emotions, because he's too logical in his thinking. He can't fathom that they are thinking irrationally because of their emotions, and it trips him up, and they get the better of him and they defeat him. And then it all ends with Barry running really fast and punching a falling satellite out of the sky to save it, to keep it from impacting into Central City. And the good thing about the season finale is throughout the season, there was this character that kept popping in and out. It was this female character that was all awkward and talked real fast, and she was just like, you got this hint that she knows a little more about Team Flash than that she lets on. she comes off as she knows all these people, or at least knows about all of these people that she's accidentally running into. And at the end, when Barry's running to do his super fast punch on this falling debris, you see another set of lightning. You see another lightning figure like zipping through the city, and then lines up right beside him, and you just see the other person's fist, and it's like purple and yellow lightning, and they both punch the thing because Barry's force isn't going to be enough to stop it, and this other speedster comes in at the last minute and helps him destroy the big object and save the day, and then just zips off. And then one of the final scenes in the season, and the season finale, is they're all celebrating their defeat of the Thinker. You have Barry's hung up on who was that speedster. There's another speedster out there. And then there's just a knock on the door, and they open it, and it's that girl from the coffee house that was all awkward and crap. And he's like, I need your help. I'm your daughter Nora. And that right there, the fact was the thing that it's like, okay, that little bit right there at the end kind of made up for the crappy resolution to the Thinker's story arc. Not completely, because that doesn't excuse bad writing in that part, but it at least gave a hint that maybe next season will be a little more interesting. I'm really excited to see like what kind of stuff we'll see Team Flash get involved with, and to see how Barry and Iris react and deal with their future daughter being there before they even conceive the idea of having a child. And I think that poses some very interesting opportunities for some interesting storytelling. So let's check out the trailer without further ado and see what they have to show.
What is it?
The satellite. It wasn't just me who took it down.
Who was it?
Another speedster.
Yep. See what I mean?
Hi, we need to talk.
Who are you?
I'm your daughter Nora from the future.
Anybody need a refill? Just me?
I love Cisco.
It's
XS?
a nickname you gave me when I was a kid, and I'm kind of stuck here now. So, anybody know what to do?
This is so weird.
God, I love this place. I can't believe that's our daughter up there.
Nora shouldn't be here. She could Marty McFly herself out of existence. She needs to be with her parents 30 years from now, not us now. Nora, I need to know.
My poker face is that bad, huh?
Please. Why'd you keep this from us?
I think I made a big mistake. I'm sorry.
And we can't let this get any worse.
Here we go.
But Flashpoint 2. Wally back on the Flash.
I don't have a suit.
Actually, I have a backup. Total fan favorite.
The Ring. Oh my god, I was wondering if we were ever going to see it. This our big bad this season. Is that Cicada? All right. that was ominous. I'm going to check something real quick because I think that's Cicada. All right, guys, I'm back, and I was right. It is Cicada. That's an interesting pull from the comics to bring into the TV show. If it is, I do believe from what I was reading, they did confirm that it is going to be him for this season as the main antagonist. If so, we could get a pretty dark storyline. This probably on par, if not darker, than the Savitar one, which would be an interesting thing to shake things up. He's not a speedster. He's more of a parasitic type meta-human. He uses those daggers to steal souls. Like if whoever he kills with the daggers, he absorbs their soul and it extends his life. And anybody that he cuts with them, it creates a psychic link between him and the person that he wounded, which could provide some really interesting dynamics in this season going forward. Let's say he cuts like Cisco and he can like vibe the team or see Cisco's visions, or maybe somehow get a link to Cisco's power, or if he cuts Iris, who has all kinds of inside knowledge on Barry, all of Team Flash. There's so many things that could shake things up on just another level. And to dive more into the cult in the comics, Cicada himself is a person that is the alias of a singular person, but he is also part of a cult of Flash worshippers. Like, these are people that are obsessed with the Flash, but they show that obsession by killing all of the people that the Flash has ever saved. So these people stalk and hunt all of the people that have been rescued by the Flash and kill them. And that is pretty dark. I don't know if they'll go with the whole cult part or just take Cicada just himself. That's also just going to be an interesting angle, along with these forced parental roles that Iris and Barry are being put into, with Nora coming back from the future and, you know, meeting her younger parents before they've even had her. There's so many interesting ways this story can go, and I'm definitely excited. This is a good start, because like season 4 had me a little worried that maybe Flash was losing its steam, and I'm still going to be on reserve, but I'm pretty hopeful for the things that they can use, or the things that they can do next season with all these elements that they've shown so far. There's definitely a lot of interesting concepts that can play out. Anyway, that was this was the last trailer out of Comic-Con that I really wanted to talk about. The other CW shows I don't really connect with nearly as much outside of the crossover events. Legends of Tomorrow, I'll watch it just as more of a between show kind of thing, just to fill in spare time when none of my main shows are on. And I did watch the trailer for that, and it just looks like a rehash of this last season. Just an excuse to keep Constantine on the show, so it's just more demon hunting. It looked boring, and I don't know if I'm too excited for Legends to come back on. Supergirl, I never finished season 2 because I guess they went on break randomly in the middle of the season, and I thought that was actually the finale when in fact it was just a break. So I never went back and actually finished it. So I have no idea what's going on in that show at all, and I might go back into it, I might not. Supergirl, I think, is the least interesting of the 4. I haven't checked out Black Lightning at all, but that's only because I'm juggling so many shows, and once they announced or confirmed that it wasn't part of the Arrowverse and it's not connected to any of these other shows, I was just like, I don't know if I really have the time to start a show that isn't going to be linked into some of the ones that I'm already watching. So I haven't checked that out. I've heard nothing but good things about it. So maybe down the road when I have some more time, I might check it out. If it's on Netflix in full or something like that, I'll hit up the first season and see what I think of that. But thanks everybody for stopping by and checking out these videos. If you like them, I would appreciate it if you supported the channel. Subscribe, like, comment. Any pointers, any advice you have for me. I'm kind of learning this as I go. So yeah, constructive criticism, I'll take it. Anyway, I'll catch you all later, and thanks for stopping in. Later.